On an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, Robert, 65 years old, was sitting in his living room reading the newspaper. No pain, no dizziness, no warning signs whatsoever. Then the newspaper began to slip from his right hand. His hand stopped responding. When he tried to call his wife, his voice came out as if his mouth was full of stones. One side of his face began to drop. Robert was having a stroke. But there is something most people are never told about. Before the ambulance could arrive, before the hospital, before any medication could intervene, Robert did something extremely simple. Not drinking anything, not trying to give himself first aid, not trying to stand up, and the emergency doctor later told his family that this action may have saved his brain from irreversible damage. Robert did not panic. He did not try to stand up. He did not try to check if he was okay. He simply changed his body position and adjusted his breathing in a very specific way. What Robert knew, and what most of us have never heard anyone explain clearly, is that the human body has a built-in survival mechanism for emergency situations. When activated correctly at the right time, this mechanism can help maintain blood flow to the brain during the first 3 minutes, the most critical minutes. And in the next 10 minutes or so, I will show you exactly what he did. Because here is the truth that needs to be said straight out. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. But what matters even more is this. The first 3 minutes, before the ambulance arrives, before the hospital, before any medication, is usually the boundary between complete recovery and permanent brain damage. Those 3 minutes are not time to wait. That is the golden window to save the brain. If this is your first time on my channel, I am Dr. Saul Whitman, Chief Medical Officer at Northern Institute for Society Wellness, with over 30 years treating thousands of patients with cardiovascular disease, atherosclerosis, stroke, and hypertension. My channel shares medical knowledge for older adults so you can live confidently as you age. And now, let's get into the video. Part 1. What is happening in the brain when a stroke begins? Strokes do not happen suddenly like most people think. The majority of strokes begin very quietly, very mildly, and almost invisibly. To understand why, we need to talk about how the brain works. The brain makes up about 2% of body weight but consumes up to 20% of the oxygen in the blood. The brain does not have the ability to store energy like muscles or the liver. That means the brain depends entirely on blood flow and oxygen being delivered every second. Just one blood vessel blocked for a few seconds and brain function starts to be affected immediately. In medicine, we have a very important concept called thanks in advance, short for transient ischemic attack, also called a mini stroke. A thanks in advance occurs when a small blood clot temporarily blocks blood flow to the brain, but then dissolves or moves away on its own. Symptoms appear suddenly, last a few minutes, then disappear as if nothing ever happened. This is the most dangerous thing. The symptoms of a thanks in advance are often ignored because they are too mild or appear for a short time. The hand suddenly feels heavy, weak on one side of the body, slurred speech, or saying words incorrectly without realizing it. One side of the face droops for a few seconds, then returns to normal. Sudden loss of balance while standing or walking, then that feeling disappears again. Most people will tell themselves they are just tired or stood up too fast, or it is simply old age. But when symptoms disappear does not mean you are safe. On the contrary, the clock has already started counting down. There is a very short window of time between when a thanks in advance occurs and when a real stroke happens. During this time, the body still has the ability to compensate, nearby blood vessels try to supply blood through alternate routes, and the brain has not yet been permanently damaged. This is why early recognition is extremely important. If you or a loved one experiences any of the symptoms I just described, even if it only lasts a few minutes, call emergency services immediately. Do not wait to see if the symptoms come back. Part 2. A few minutes late can cause permanent brain damage. Now let's talk about something many people do not realize until it is too late. When blood does not reach the brain, brain cells start to die within a few minutes. After 3 minutes, neurons begin to die and mild brain damage can occur. After 5 minutes, the risk of serious and long-lasting brain damage increases significantly. These are not hypothetical numbers. This is biological reality. The brain cannot wait. The consequences of stroke are not always death. In fact, many people survive stroke but face other permanent consequences: loss of ability to speak, or speaking but no one can understand, complete paralysis of one side of the body, unable to move on your own, short-term or long-term memory loss, not recognizing loved ones, complete dependence on others for all daily activities. These consequences not only affect the patient, but also change the lives of the entire family. And this is why acting quickly in those first few minutes is so important. Just a few minutes delay can be the boundary between complete recovery and permanent brain damage. This is not trying to scare you, this is medical reality. Every minute delayed, millions of brain cells can be destroyed. That is why in emergency medicine, we have a saying that time is brain. Every second matters. Part 3, the golden window: how to maintain blood flow to the brain before help arrives. Now to the most important part I want you to remember. The technique I am about to share does not replace calling emergency services. Its only goal is to buy more time for the brain while waiting for the ambulance to arrive. This is the golden window, when the brain has not yet been permanently damaged and the body still has a chance to compensate on its own. This technique can be completely self-administered if you are still conscious and able to move. But if you lose balance or are not alert enough, a family member nearby can help you perform it. Now I will guide you through each specific step. Step 1, sit down or lie down immediately to avoid falling. If you are standing when you feel symptoms, do not try to maintain balance. Find a safe place to sit or lie down right away. Step 2, lie flat on your back on the floor or bed. Your head does not need to be elevated. Let your head lie low or level with your body. Step 3, raise both legs about 8 to 12 inches. You can use pillows, a low chair, cardboard boxes, or any object available around you. It does not need to be absolutely precise. Just legs higher than the heart is fine. The effect of this position is to help blood from both legs, which contain a significant amount of blood, return to the heart faster thanks to gravity. When the heart receives more blood, it can pump more powerfully and increase the ability to deliver blood to the brain. This is a simple physiological mechanism, but very effective in emergency situations. The next step is to control your breathing. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 2 seconds, then breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle continuously until help arrives. Focus on your breathing, do not let your mind wander. The effect of this breathing pattern is to increase oxygen in the blood, help stabilize blood pressure, and most importantly, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the system that helps the body become calm and relaxed. When you breathe slowly and deeply, the heart slows down but becomes more efficient, blood vessels dilate, and the brain receives more oxygen. Research from Stanford Medical Center on the role of breath control in emergency situations has shown that people who apply controlled breathing techniques in the first 3 minutes have lower rates of brain damage compared to those who do nothing or panic. This is not magic, this is science. Remember, this is not medication, does not require medical equipment, and anyone can do it. This technique simply takes advantage of what the body already has to protect itself. Part 4, stroke prevention: how to keep your brain healthy every day after 60. Now, let's move on to what I think is even more important than emergency management, which is prevention. The brain has an amazing ability called neuroplasticity. This means the brain can repair itself, reorganize, and form new connections even when you are over 60, 70, or even 80 years old. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, the brain's recovery process begins very early, not waiting until you are fully recovered. The brain begins to reorganize from the first hours after the stroke ends. This means the way you live every day has a direct impact on the brain's ability to protect and recover itself. The most important key to keeping the brain healthy is maintaining good blood circulation. Blood carries oxygen and nutrients to the brain, and when circulation is good, the risk of forming blood clots decreases significantly. One of the simplest ways to improve circulation is gentle and regular movement. I am not talking about running marathons or high-intensity gym workouts. I am talking about gentle but rhythmic movements. Pumping your calf muscles while sitting, standing up and sitting down a few times every hour, walking around the house, or even just shrugging your shoulders and rotating your neck. These movements help pump blood from the legs back to the heart, like a natural pump. Nutrition also plays an extremely important role in supporting vascular health. Omega-3, an essential fatty acid, has been proven to help reduce inflammation, naturally thin the blood, and protect blood vessel walls. You can find omega-3 in fatty fish like salmon, tuna, or nuts like chia seeds and walnuts. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale contain many antioxidants that help protect brain cells from damage. Berries, like blueberries and strawberries, are also very good for vascular health thanks to their high antioxidant content. Finally, I want to emphasize one thing. Prevention is not about doing everything perfectly. Prevention is about repeating small habits every day. You do not need to be perfect with every meal. You do not need to exercise on schedule every day. You just need to be consistent with small things. Drink enough water, move gently, eat plenty of vegetables and fish, manage stress, and get enough sleep. These habits add up over time and make a very big difference. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your family and friends so they also know how to protect their brain in the most critical minutes. Please like this video so it gets recommended to more people, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel so we can meet again in future medical advice. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions or share your experience. I will try to answer them all. Thank you for your time, and please take very good care of your health. See you in the next video.